Hey, what is up YouTube? This is the Merman Master coming at you guys from the Teen Time Riders Yugioh channel today with a brand new video on Crystal Beasts. I'm doing this profile in honor of the release and reprint of a whole bunch of Crystal Beast stuff, including the very hard to get Crystal Bond. So naturally, I think a lot of players are going to be wanting to take a look at Crystal Beasts now that the new list, the new cards have come out, and they're a lot easier to get. So hopefully this list is going to be a nice balance between a little bit of competitive but a lot of casual play, and will give you a great idea of how to build a Crystal Beast deck, especially if you're new to the deck and want to take advantage of being able to pull Crystal Bond and Rainbow Bridge easily. So guys, let's get started. Starting things first off right here, we're going to start with the main Crystal Beast monsters, and that is 3 copies of Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. Now, Sapphire Pegasus is one of your main monsters because when it comes to the field, you can place any Crystal Beast monster from your deck, hand, or graveyard into the spell or trap card zone, which is extremely important for all the different plays that you can do. That product is very important. And one of the cards that you want to be putting in the spell and trap card zone the most is 3 copies of Ruby Carbuncle. And Ruby Carbuncle is great because when it's in the spell and trap card zone, or if it's special summoned by any way, you can basically special summon as many Crystal Beasts in your spell and trap card zone as possible. So Sapphire Pegasus and Ruby Carbuncle create a nice little loop of things where you can keep special summoning Crystal Beasts from your spell and trap card zone and bringing them there with Pegasus. Moving on to some of the lesser played but still pretty important Crystal Beasts, 2 copies of Crystal Beast Topaz Tiger. This card is, you don't really use it for its main effect, which is just gaining 400 when it would attack into a monster, but it is also another name that you can place into the the spell and trap card zone, and can be a nice beater in certain circumstances. Now for the one-ofs, we got 1 copy of Crystal Beast Amber Mammoth, which redirects attacks. 1 copy of Crystal Beast Cobalt Eagle, which can take a Crystal Beast monster from your monster zone or your spell and trap card zone and place it onto the top of the deck. This is actually really great if you need to resolve Crystal Bond. So it does become very useful, and is actually more useful now than it was back in its heyday. 1 copy of Crystal Beast Amethyst Cat. Have the attack power of this monster, and you can declare an attack directly. And final, a single copy of Emerald Tortoise, and this guy is basically you're allowed to target 1 monster you control. It doesn't even have to be a Crystal Beast, and then if it attacked this turn, you can change that target to defense position. So really cool card, but you only run these at 1-of because they are the 1-ofs. We're still waiting on that new Crystal Beast stuff to come out. I got a couple of tech cards and stuff in here as well. Starting things out, we've got 1 copy of Rainbow Dragon. It's really great to put on those plays with the rest of your Crystal Beast monsters here. You can summon it when you have 7 Crystal Beasts in any zone, so that's deck, hand, so it's field and graveyard is where you gotta have 7 Crystal Beasts with different names, but even though it can't activate its effect the turn it comes out on the field, it's still a very good card and definitely recommended for you to run. Next card that we have is 1 copy of Rainbow Dark Dragon. This is kind of a tech. You can of course take this card out of the deck, and one of the other cards I am running as well, which I'll show you, but this is just sort of in here so that you can do some crazy and interesting plays with one of your monsters, which is quite nice. Now moving on to the spells, and this is where the deck lives. First and foremost, we've got 3 copies of Crystal Bond. Now, Crystal Bond is one of the best cards in this entire deck because what you basically do with it is you can add a Crystal Beast from your deck to your hand, and then you can set a Crystal Beast from your deck to your spell and trap card zone. So what this does is it gives you a material in your spell and trap card zone, which is great for something like Crystal Tree or for your field spell, and then also allows you to add 1 from deck to hand. So the idea is you add Pegasus and then put a Carbuncle in the spell and trap card zone, normal summon the Pegasus, and it'll grab another Crystal Beast out of your deck. So all of a sudden you have 2, which means that your Crystal Beacons and stuff are live. So Crystal Bond is really great at just speeding up your plays in a very fast and good way. Next card we've got is 3 copies of Rainbow Bridge, arguably the most important card in the deck, primarily because it's not doing anything by itself like Crystal Bond, but what it does is it is a consistency booster. So by using Rainbow Bridge, you can add any card that mentions the name Crystal from your deck to your hand. And it's not even once per turn either, which is absolutely awesome because nearly every single spell or trap card in this deck is named Crystal, and they all do different things. That makes your entire spell and trap card lineup completely searchable off of Rainbow Bridge. So you have to run the card in here at 3, and any less than that is heresy. Now, of course, the card I was mentioning before is 3 copies of Crystal Beacon. When you've got 2 Crystal Beast monsters in your spell and trap card zone, you can use Crystal Beacon to special summon a Crystal Beast monster to your main monster zone. This is great for grabbing out Pegasus, but a lot of people like to use it to grab Carbuncle because Carbuncle can then special summon the 2 that are in the spell and trap card zone when it gets special summoned to the field. So this allows you to push for quite a lot of advantage and should not be run at any less than 3. Next card we've got is an arguable addition for some Crystal Beast players, and if you're going for a more competitive sort of matchup here, you don't really want to run it, but that's 2 copies of Rare Value. And where Rare Value shines, no pun intended, guys, is that when you have 2 or more Crystal Beasts in your spell or trap card zone, you can activate Rare Value. Your opponent chooses one of them to send to the graveyard, and then you draw 2 cards. So a really, really nice way to boost a bit of consistency in this deck. However, the fact that your opponent gets to choose and not you means that they'll often try and send your Carbuncle to the graveyard. It would not be recommended to activate that if you do want to still resolve your Carbuncle at some point during the duel. Now, one of my personal favorites and great with Crystal Bond is Crystal Tree. Each time a Crystal Beast monster is placed in either player's spell or trap card zone, you can place 1 crystal counter on this card. Do note that when you contribute this card, it takes crystal counters with an equal number of crystal counters, and you can set that number of Crystal Beasts from your deck to the field, which is absolutely awesome. So Crystal Bond plus Crystal Tree is actually 4 materials in your back row, which is awesome to get the extra draw effect off of your Ancient City Rainbow Ruins, which is really, really good. Do note though, avoid clogging up your back row because Crystal Tree can only bring out cards equal to the number of crystal counters. So if you have Crystal Tree and 2 Crystal Beasts and it has 3 counters, you're kind of screwed in that sense because you can't bring them out, which is something that you do have to watch out for, especially when you're running a card like that. 2 copies of Crystal Promise. Really, really good card, especially for special summoning Carbuncles out of your spell and trap card zone to the field and, just sort of getting the effects off. Also great to summon a Pegasus or whatever you want. Think of it kind of like a Monster Reborn, except in a little bit of a different way. But I had it in here at 1 at the last build, but I decided to bump it up to 2. Finally, also bumped up to 2 is 2 copies of Crystal Abundance. This card is absolutely awesome, and it's one of the only GX cards that back in the day just sent things to the graveyard. Basically send 4 Crystal Beasts from your spell and trap card zone, especially great if you loaded the spell and trap card zone with Tree. And then you can special summon as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from your graveyard up to the number of cards your opponent controlled that were sent to the graveyard by this effect. So if you send a whole field full of stuff, you can special summon up to 5 Crystal Beasts to the field. Versus if they only have like 2 or 3 cards, you can special summon 3. But it's still really, really great to be able to push for some interesting plays. And I found that at 1, I just did not see it enough. And at 2, I feel is a perfect number. Next is 2 copies of Ancient City Rainbow Ruins. Fantastic, fantastic field spell. Gains effects based on the number of Crystal Beasts in your spell and trap card zone. So with 1, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. With 2 Crystal Beasts there, you can once per turn, you can have any battle damage that you take. 3 Crystal Beasts, you can send a Crystal Beast monster you control to the grave to negate the activation of a spell or trap card and destroy it. And that's not even once per turn, this effect. So if you've got multiple Crystal Beasts here or multiple in the background, you can negate that many spell or traps. 4, of course, you get that nice draw 1 effect. And 5, you're allowed to special summon 1 Crystal Beast from your spell and trap card zone, which is great, especially for getting them out of the spell and trap card zone. Next, we have the other tech card in here is 1 copy of Advanced Dark. Way worse than Rainbow Ruins, but kind of, going along the idea of the Advanced Crystal Beast, if that's a route that you want to take. Basically makes all Crystal Beasts on the field and graveyard dark, and if Rainbow Dragon or Rainbow Dark Dragon attacks, you negate the effects of the attack target during that battle phase. And during damage calc, if Crystal Beast monster you control battles and would take damage, you can send a Crystal Beast monster from your deck to the graveyard and you take no battle damage from that battle. So not really that good of a card, but still kind of a cool card to have just for a little bit of nostalgia. You can, of course, feel free to take it out as well as the Rainbow Dark Dragon, but that, again, is your choice. One copy of Crystal Blessing. Set 2 Crystal Beast cards to monsters from your graveyard to the spell and trap card zone. One big note with this card, guys, and this is something that Crystal Beast players have to watch out for, especially when it comes to loading up the back row, is that Crystal Blessing sets the things and it's still resolving. So you have to have 3 spots at least open for Crystal Blessing to be able to resolve. So that is something to watch out for. Final spell card in here is Crystal Release. And equips only to a Crystal Beast monster to give it 800 attack. And when this card is sent from the field to the grave, you can place a Crystal Beast monster from your deck to the spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. So really awesome. Moving on to our trap cards. 2 copies of Crystal Conclave, great Kieran bouncing effect, along with being able to special summon a Crystal Beast monster when one of yours is destroyed by battle. Great for loading up your back row and speeding up your plays at an impressive rate. 2 copies of Ultimate Crystal Magic. Basically, crazy card. If a Crystal Beast monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can send 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names from your hand, deck, and or face up on the field to the graveyard to special summon an Ultimate Crystal Fusion monster, which is what this is. And it says this card is always treated as an Ultimate Crystal card. So that's something to keep note of. And you can banish this card from your graveyard if a face-up Ultimate Crystal monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect. Keep that in mind and place any number of Crystal Beast monsters from your graveyard face-up in the spell and trap card zone as continuous spells. So this is awesome. Protects your Rainbow Dragon, protects your Rainbow Over Dragon. Really awesome card, guys. And only problem is that it also doesn't really do that with card effects, but you know, there's easier ways to get it off, and when we get the new Rainbow Dragon-esque Crystal Beast card, that's going to be good. Metaverse, self-explanatory. You know, you guys already know what it does. And finally, 1 copy of Crystal Counter. You can, of course, take this out of your deck as well. I just found out from the new set that they've renamed this card to Counter Gem, which means that it can no longer be searched by your Rainbow Bridge. So that's going to cause me to maybe rethink this card a little bit, but nevertheless, I do think that it's a very interesting card and allows you to easily resolve an abundance or draw cards off of Rainbow Ruins. So definitely something to consider, but not altogether something that you may need. Final 2 cards in the deck are 2 copies of Rainbow Over Dragon. This card is great because you can fusion summon it, of course, with the Fusion Trap, or you can special summon it by basically tributing over a Rainbow Dragon or a Rainbow Dark Dragon. And basically what it'll allow you to do is banish a Crystal Beast monster and gain attack equal to the banished monsters, and then will also basically allow you to activate the Rainbow Dragon-esque quick effect to shuffle this card, to tribute this card, and shuffle everything on the field back into the deck. So really awesome. But that's going to do it for my Crystal Beast deck profile, guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. Really helps us out, and let us know what kind of content you guys like to see in the future. But guys, this has been the Merman Master with the Team Time Riders YouTube channel, and I am signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.